Hi guys, hope you're well and welcome to another video. So in this video, I'm going to cover all of the trade setups that I saw this week and that the possible trade setups that I saw and took. Um, I'm going to take all of them and reviewing the market now, it just shows you how much potential there was in the market this week. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to show you how I do or how I did the top-down analysis from the start of the week and knew the direction, or not knew, but once it gave me confirmation of the direction, I knew what trades to take and look for. And there was one trade that I went against the trend and I lost. So I just took one loss this week and it was against the trend. And then I followed the trend. So how I normally do the analysis is on a Sunday. And I do the analysis on a Sunday because the market opens on a Sunday evening for us at around 11 o'clock. And it gives me a very clear indication of what I'm going to plan for the week or what my directional bias is going to be for the week. So it's really important to start on the weekly. And the reason for that is just to see the price action of the last few weeks because it's going to show you what should or can happen. So so what I normally do on the weekly is I look for the low, the swing low, and the swing high point. And the swing low, swing high point in an uptrend would be the lower high right here. So this was the lower high. So I'm just going to put a horizontal line there. That was the swing low. So that was the higher low. And then we created a higher high. And so I like to mark the higher high as well to the wick, because remember the price went up to exactly there and the price went down to exactly there. Then we have a range. So it's good to know that we have a range to trade in. So this was the top of the range, bottom of the range, and going down now to the daily, knowing we're in a range, it gives us some structure to trade in. Because now we have potential for upside to there and potential for downside to here. Let me just refine this a little bit. Okay. Now on the daily, what I like to do is just mark a daily level for myself. And what I do is I use the bodies of the candles. So on the weekly, I use the wicks. Now I use the bodies of the candles. And that gives me a very clear indication of where price needs to return to at least. And it doesn't have to happen this week. It can happen next week as well. But there's still a very high probability that price will reverse to this zone right here. So that's just one zone. And then again, that was the higher high, higher low. And this was the point, the turning point before the breakout. Then we have a lower low, lower high, and then we have this meltdown now. So just for now, this would be a level. But remember, at the beginning of the week, I didn't see this now. I'm just doing kind of what I'm seeing now. And now we have another range that we can trade in. But at the beginning of the week, we were sitting all the way up here. So it's very important to note that because we were sitting up here and because of this daily candle on Friday that closed, it was kind of a very clear indication rejection and we want to retrace or we want to come down. So I was already expecting sells at the beginning of the week, but what I needed to wait for my sells to be confirmed and for me to actually take sells was one thing, and that was a structure break. So the structure break normally happens on the 1 and 4 hour, and that confirms where the market should go for the next few days. So at the beginning of the week, we were sitting right here. Right here. This was when the market opened around this zone. And then we had this kind of a push up and then drop through. Boom. Okay. And this was a very relevant structural low point. Okay. Structural low point. I'm going to go into the 1 hour now, guys, just because we kind of saw on the weekly that we are retracing, and on the daily we had that rejection on Friday. So on Monday open, we can expect, because of this rejection on Friday, this was a clear rejection on Friday on the 1 hour. Look at how it broke structure onto the downside. So the 1 hour structure was this level right there. That was the 1 hour swing low point, high point, broke the low point. And once it broke the low point, that's a very clear indication for us. Okay, listen, we're most likely going to melt. And this happened on Friday. So this whole rejection happened on Friday. So I was looking for sales at the beginning of Monday as well. But Monday came, and at exactly 11, we had this major pump up, rejection, and then we started to form this, like, I don't know what happened here, and then we had the drop. Now, the structural low point that we're looking at was this point right here. That was the structural lowest low point that has to be broken for us to really confirm, okay, we're going down. And this is where you can also decide how you want to trade. If you want to trade aggressively, you could have taken sales already in here or in here. Not impossible. But the problem is, like, how do you want to trade? Do you want to trade intraday, swing, scalp? How do you trade? Most of my trades is intraday and scalping trades. So for me, I'm in and out of the market. I don't like to ride the big waves, all the way. But there was a possibility here, if you had your weekly zone marked up down here, or even the daily zone, there was a possibility for you to trade this thing all the way down. Now, I don't trade like that, so I didn't look for that type of entry. But what I looked for was that intraday trades. Now, I'm not going to go over every trade that I took, but I'm going to show you the setups, the possible setups that occurred, and I took some of them, and I made a good money this week. And I'm going to show you the last trade of this week that I took. It was probably the best trade of the week, on Friday today. So we had the swing low point, and if you know market structure, this is your higher low. Then we created a higher high point, and then we created a higher low point, or actually a lower low, because we broke structure. But this was just the first structure. This wasn't the main structure. The main structure sits here, and this is the structure on the 4-hour as well. So look at the detail. At exactly 5 o'clock on Tuesday, we broke the structure. Now, this is a wick, so it looks like a rejection. But the thing is, we still broke the structure. We still showed that weakness going through the structure here. So this is a wick, so it just means the price was here and kind of rejected. But it's still not, for me, a rejection. This, to me, is a break of structure. A lot of guys will say, no, it has to close below and all that. No, it doesn't. Okay, if price, even on the second time frame or the 1 minute time frame, goes below a certain point, that's a break or a violation of structure, especially on the 1 hour and the smaller time frames. On the higher time frames, yes, then it can indicate a reversal or a rejection. But on the low time frame, the 1 hour, 4 hour, 15-minute, half an hour, no. This shows you the break of structure on that time frame. So right here was the break of structure, and what happened? So this was the lower low, and this was the lower high right here. So this was your first trade sitting right here. Okay, that was your first trade setup on this block here. Now, why this block? Because this was the exact turning point from where, like this lower high that was created, and this was the turning point of the lower high, and then we had the drop. So in here, there's data. I'm not going to go into it now, because then I'm going to basically reveal all of the strategies and show you exactly how to enter and exit the market, and that's very valuable. So for now, I'm just going to show you kind of the possibilities, and that with our strategy, this was definitely a very nice possibility. Great trade right there. So we, with our strategy, would have taken it right there, and it was exactly 8 o'clock. So it was an hour before London opened. So it was a bit early, but that was definitely a very proper trade set up for 50 pips. No, sorry. We just missed 50 pips on this move. You could have banked 50 pips. No, you could have if you just took a little bit, but this was definitely a 50 pip potential trade opportunity for you. So 50 pip move right here, beginning of the week on a Tuesday, and we melted. Okay, so there was your first trade setup. Now, it doesn't always play out perfectly like this. It's just to show you the potential move was 50 pips. It was a crazy big move. And now, again, this move caused another structure break. So where was the next structure break? The next structure break. So this was now the new low point. So that's your new structure. And right there, it got broken. Okay, so right here it got broken. So that was your indication for another selling opportunity. But where would you take the selling opportunity? Again, at the turning point. Now, I'm not going to again show you the strategy we use, but basically that would be the zone. And exactly there was your entry, and your stop was just above. And on this trade, you could have banked another 50 pips, another perfect trade. And what happened here? So again, we had another structure break because now this was your newly formed low point. And sorry guys, let me just remove this thing a bit. So this was your newly formed low point, and this low point got broken right here, or with this whole impulsive move to the downside. So there was your structure break to the downside. And after this happened, then what? Then we look for more sells because it shows bearish, and we bearish because it's lower low, lower high, lower low. We're just following the trend, and look how perfectly GA trended this week. I mean, it was so great to see how GA trended. Now, the next selling opportunity would have been in this block here, but it just missed our our strategy. So, or the turning point literally just missed it. But there was definitely still opportunity in here if you knew what's happening. Okay, and then we broke structure once more, right there, forming a new lower low and a new lower high. And guys, the whole point of trading, and I'm going to be very honest and transparent with you, trading is actually very simple because the market can only go up or down. And all you need to really understand is market structure for you to be successful. That's going to be your foundation. If you don't know market structure, none of what I'm telling you guys here is going to help, because market structure at the end of the day is going to be the most important. If you understand your market structure, you can trade any strategy and you'll be successful, because you should just try and identify the swing high and the swing low point in any given trend and identify that it's actually trending. So to identify that trending, break of structure, lower low. What's after the lower low? Lower high. And we want to enter on the lower high. We want to enter on the lower high, lower high, lower high. Break of structure, lower high. We want to enter on the lower high. Now, on our strategy, this wasn't an entry. Again, lower low, lower high, entry. Lower low, lower high, entry. Now, this would have been taken out, but with our strategy, this was the perfect sell zone. This would have been the perfect sell zone. Okay, I know it looks big, but again, we're going to refine it on the lower time frame. And look how perfectly it came in multiple times into our sell zone and dropped. Now, that was the beginning of the week. In the middle of the week, we were sitting about here. So this was the last few days of the week. I thought we're going to expect like a midweek reversal thing, and that never happened. But it's okay, because this was a range that formed. So there was even opportunities in this range, and I traded this range and traded the opportunities in this range. I'm not going to go over every one, but at the end of the range, look what happened more to the end of the range. And look at the sell I took today. I'm going to go over the sell I took today because it's very, very specific. Again, if you know your market structure, this was the low point that formed, and the high point that formed was up here. Okay. So we actually had a swing low, swing high, and then the swing low got tested but not broken or even violated at all. It literally just turned just before it. So right here was your first indication that the trend is going to reverse, and we got a higher high, higher low point. There was another entry for you. Higher low, higher high, higher low, and then lower high, trend reversal. Right here, I knew I'm looking for sells again, just because, yes, we kind of broke structure to the upside. But what I did was I drew the newly formed structure level right there and told myself, okay, because of this rejection candle, look at this 1 hour rejection candle. That's a major bullish and bearish engulfing candle. That shows me, market doesn't want to go up. So I just put that there, and I was still looking for selling opportunities. I wasn't looking for buys. And the thing that gave me the perfect selling opportunity was this rejection candle right here. And this happened yesterday or this morning, very early, 2 o'clock this morning. So this morning, this was my structure level. And as you can see, look at that. Now, retail people will tell you, rejection, this thing is going up. But I knew, because we trade institutional, um, this was a break of structure. This was a break of structure below these levels. And this was a rejection. So if this is a rejection, this is a break of structure, I'm expecting the lower high. And then I'm expecting the sell. So where I took my entries was on the 15-minute and the 5-minute. And this was our sell zone right there. Okay, it was a perfect sell zone, and we had a perfect tap into it and a drop. This morning, I took entries right here. This was my morning entries, okay, according to our strategy. 10 pips, 25 pip run. Again, I'm scalping the market. Took out 2 positions here, 1 position in a bit less profit. That was my first trade. And then I took another sell entry again at this level, or somewhere at this level. I took a sell entry, but that was a break-even trade because I took the sell according to my strategy. And we had a reaction, but it wasn't the right reaction. So yeah, I took a break even trade there. I was also going for about 25 pips with that trade. And then we pushed up all the way into the best sell zone, and that's where I caught the best entries for today. And this was really, really nice entries and with a fundamental release. So it was so perfect. And we caught 100 pips in like an hour. It wasn't even an hour. So yeah, that was like a crazy big move. And that was the last move of the week, and really impressed with that move. And as you can see, we're still melting. So there was still opportunity to even go to the weekly levels that I marked off here and here, or the daily and the weekly level. So there's a lot of opportunities. So yeah, I really hope that you guys found value. Sorry if the dogs are barking in the background. But yeah, so guys, hope you found value in this, and yeah, you guys must enjoy the day, and yeah, hope you enjoyed this, because this is really valuable stuff, guys. This is basically in the course we go over in detail on everything, but this is just a little piece of the pie of what we have to offer for you guys in trading, because we trade with very big risk reward ratios. So yeah, enjoy the video, guys, and have a blessed one, and we'll chat to you soon. I'm going to make a Sunday analysis, pre-analysis video of GBPAUD, and then we'll have a look at opportunities for next week. There's definitely going to be major opportunities for next week, and I'm expecting more sales. But firstly, buys and then sales. You guys, enjoy your day and your evening. Cheers, bye.